What's up, Whisper Nation? It is Thursday, October 14th, and we are heading into week 6 of the NFL. And so we have to bring it to you. We got to give you guys a couple of players that you need to go and try to target right now. We're going to give you a couple of players that you need to try to trade away right now to get those players. And then we're also going to talk about some of those awesome cornerback matchups this week, and then maybe a couple that you might want to temper your expectations. And by we, I mean us here at the Fantasy Whisperers. So make sure you buckle up, you hit that subscribe, hit that bell on the way in if you like fantasy football and you like fantasy football content. All right, Big Travie, let's kick that intro.
Right here.
That's right. Like Johnny said, we're going to be talking about our biggest Thirsty Thursday topics heading into week 6 of the 2021 fantasy football season. But if you like that fresh fantasy football content, you want more of it, then you got to subscribe, like the man said, to the YouTube channel. Give this and our other videos a like on your way in. But now it's time to welcome you all the way in, Whisper Nation. My name is Big Travie. You can find me on Twitter at Big Travie TFW. I am joined by Johnny Game Time Hicks. You can find him on Twitter at Johnny Game Time, or I'm sorry, Johnny _ Game Time. My guy, what's going on, brother?
What's up, buddy? Oh my goodness, so excited to talk about these guys. We were, digging up dirt, trying to find all the gems for Whisper Nation, not only to acquire but to get rid of. And hey, to be honest with you, this is one of the best parts about fantasy football is trades. Engaging your league mates in trades.
Absolutely, it is. I think trading is such a big pillar of what we do to win a championship each and every year. We also draft and then obviously waivers. But I love this show too. Not just we run you through the notes a little bit. Obviously, we've got practice reports. We'll get the most of that tomorrow. We love the lineup questions. We're going to be giving you start sit advice and on this show at the end of this show. So keep those questions coming in. I want to say what's up to everybody in here: Brett Johnson, Gus Ramos, Oscar the Grouch, Mr. Miyagi,
our boys.
We've got it. So I basically I just want to say that I love this show, and I love that we do obviously the trade away, trade for, but the cornerback matchups, as you mentioned, because there's going to be some interesting matchups to highlight this week, including, I don't know if it's bad or good, but Kadarius Toney this week. We'll talk a little bit about that big waiver wire ad, Kadarius Toney. That's what we call a teaser, Johnny. So stick with us, Whisper Nation, but I want to tell you a little bit about the sponsor of today's show. It's brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the best and easiest place to play fantasy football for big cash prizes. They have player prop bets like over-under on touchdowns, receiving yardage, rushing totals, and more. And we here at the Fantasy Whisperers, we're going to be helping you by all the shows we do build those bet slips each and every week. When you go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app, they're going to give you $10 as a gift by using the promo code TFW. That's underdogfantasy.com, or download the app and use the promo code TFW for $10 of free money. That's TFW for $10. Johnny, before we get into some of this buying low, selling high, this trade talk, before we get into the questions from Whisper Nation, which continue to pour those in, continue to hit that like button and help us continue to rock through this show, we've got to talk a little bit about the news and notes. And so I'm going to rattle through a few of these. You just kind of give me your 2 cents here and there, but also we'll talk about which ones we think are going to have the biggest impact. So today we just about a few minutes ago, Justin Jefferson said with his ankle, he's going to return to practice. So nothing to see there, kind of a situation. Tyreek Hill, though, logs another DNP on Thursday with the quad injury. So something to keep an eye on. I mentioned on the matchup show that Mecole Hardman needs to be added in all formats, as he did just have 12 targets last week, but also in this matchup against Washington, Johnny. Great matchup to be plugging in both, but also, especially if Reek goes down, Mecole Hardman.
Oh, 100%. That would make Reek an auto start for me. And you talk about that tantalizing defense of Washington, who just lets everyone score on him, lets every wide receiver go on by him. And yeah, I definitely will play Mecole if Reek is out.
We have Saquon Barkley, not a DNP. He's probably not going to play. They said anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks on that injury that he's got. That ankle was swollen, man. Antonio Gibson with the shin. He's got the stress fracture right now in the shin. Man, it sounds scary, but he's returned to practice today, so that's good news. Daniel Jones, concussed. He's limited Thursday as well, so he's moving through the process here. Rashad Bateman 2 hours ago, it was noted that his role will gradually increase weekly. So something to keep in mind, they might not be rushing him back here, especially with Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews playing so well and the offense doing so well. They might just take their time with this. Moving along, Mike Williams missed practice yesterday with a knee injury, probably maintenance, but keep an eye on that report today. Allen Robinson didn't participate. Neither did Darnell Mooney with the groin. And Allen Robinson had his own ankle issue. Damian Williams, also for the Bears, limited with foot and knee issues. So that's kind of what we're working with. Damian Harris, keep in mind for him, he's got the rib injury that knocked him out of the game, but x-rays came back negative, so he might make it a go. Wednesday tends to be that maintenance day, Johnny. So we saw guys like him out. We also saw Julio Jones return to practice yesterday. Dalvin Cook returned to practice yesterday. And then Matt Rule for the Carolina Panthers said that Christian McCaffrey is 50-50 to play in week 6.
Ooh,
other people
getting closer.
Yeah, getting closer there. We had a situation with Joe Burrow with a throat contusion. They're telling him not to talk during practice, the throat goat. And they said, but he is practicing fully for week 6. Looks like he's going to go.
How do you not practice? How do you not talk during practice when you're the quarterback?
Silent counts? Yeah, I don't know. I think they're saying outside of it, just basically everything outside of practice, just shut up, basically. Lions tight end TJ Hawkinson also didn't practice yesterday either. So that's kind of what we're working with the injury news and notes roundup. But Johnny, we're going to start and get into this buy low and sell high. Any of those, before we do, any of those updates really that you're watching the most closely to see what happens? I think Mike Williams for me is a big one. Let's see him bounce back and get back into your lineup.
Yeah, definitely. Mike Williams is one of the guys that I'm watching for sure. Reek is the other major news in Tyreek Hill and whether or not he ends up going. I do think he'll play, but yeah, that's something I'm monitoring for sure.
Sounds great. Well, Johnny, let's get into this. The whole gist of the show is buy low, sell high. We're going to pick each player, or we're going to have a player each on a buy low and a sell high. Johnny, why don't you start us off with the buy low and tell us who's a player you're looking at, you're seeing the metrics, and you want to go buy right now because you think eventually that's going to push through to fantasy goodness.
Yeah, my buy low right now is wide receiver AJ Brown. The reason why I think right now is the perfect time to go out and try to target him. Is he going to be easy to target? No, of course not, because most often the player who drafted him probably took him in the first 3 rounds, so they're going to want kind of a heftier type of price tag for AJ Brown. But you got a couple of things working in your favor. But first, I want to walk you through why I think right now is a great time to go and try to target A.J. Brown. He's coming off the injury. What did we see when he came off? He didn't have the biggest game, which was kind of nice for this argument as far as trying to go and acquire him right now. But when you look at the details are very, very nice. It's what we like to see with him coming back from an injury. He led the team with 22% of the target share, and he ran a route on 89% of Ryan Tannehill's dropbacks. You like that as a first game back. Now, he didn't have, again, a monster game, but I do think that with the game plan of, being last week, they were against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the game plan all along, in most cases for Tennessee was give the rock to Derrick Henry. I don't think anyone, I'm not surprising anybody there. We knew that Derrick Henry was going to have a big day. But that was also a reason why A.J. Brown wasn't able to truly break out last week, was because they didn't really need him to. However, things are going to start turning around for Tennessee, in my opinion. And I think that starts with A.J. Brown getting back, getting healthier, and continuing to get healthier. And, you're looking at where he's at right now, and he's being valued so low, not only one, because of the injury, but 2, he's had 4 drops this season, which ranks 6th in the NFL for wide receivers. He had 4 drops all of last year. So I don't think this is an issue that's going to continue with him as far as drops, but because of the drops, he hasn't had as big of games as he potentially could have had. And so you're not having to go and pay a ceiling price for A.J. Brown, even though we don't think that he's gotten there yet. And the other thing that makes it a little bit easier for us to go and try to target A.J. Brown this week is because he plays against the Buffalo Bills, who are ranked number 1 against wide receivers. So once again, most likely the teams that have AJ Brown right now are probably most likely struggling because he's been out the majority of the season or hasn't performed well for the majority of the season. And so you could probably go and try to target him with another solid wide receiver and maybe another throw-in piece, and you should be able to acquire him. And then you want to play him this week because Tennessee, 5.5-point underdogs currently in this game. Buffalo is tied for the league lead in plays ran per game with 69. Nice. So I expect the volume and the up tempo of this game will be enough to float AJ Brown past this matchup as a top 20 wide receiver. And if you can go and acquire him right now, he's got a better schedule ahead with Julio Jones coming back. You'll get a better coverage as far as that goes. I think AJ Brown is a guy that you should be going and targeting right now, Travis.
Yeah, the best part about A.J. Brown last week was that he made it through that game unscathed. He didn't have a setback. He made it through healthy. So you like that. You like to see that. And even if it is a tough matchup this week, there's two things that you could go after him this week before the game, or you could wait until after the game. And maybe he has a tough matchup against Buffalo. They've been an elite secondary. So maybe he does have that tough matchup. Even more of a case to go buy low on A.J. Brown because the schedule opens up, as Johnny was talking about a little bit there. Mm-hmm. Want to say what's up to everybody in the chat. We want to target AJ Brown, but we want to target these questions, and we will as soon as we get through some of the meat and potatoes of this show. And then stay tuned because at the end of the show, we're giving away a Keenan Allen signed jersey for our Patreon members. So make sure you're over on Patreon, you / the Fantasy Whispers, and you get in to those drawings monthly. All right, Johnny, I want to talk about TJ Hawkinson. I know our guy, Mr. Miyagi, saying, what's going on? TJ Hawkinson here, buy low. Yes, I do think he is a buy low. Obviously, he's had the knee issue. I think it's been hampering his production maybe more than we thought. So I could understand your hesitancy to go get him because of the knee issue. But I actually think if he's able to he said he was sore. Basically, he said he was sore because DBs are going at his knees because that's how they're kind of going after him. So he's going to have to adjust to that, get some treatment. But I think his advanced metrics, Johnny, are really showing that he's still being utilized in an elite fashion. When we look at these routes that he runs on a weekly basis, upwards of 85% of routes ran on the snaps. That is elite. We want our tight ends to be over 80%. That's an elite number. 80% really is an elite number for wide receivers. So if your tight end is out there doing that, excellent. Targets per route run, Johnny, around 16%. I mean, if you look at Travis Kelce, 19%. So we're not far off there. Targets, 18%. His ADOT, a little bit lower than you'd like at 7.6, but that's okay. Really, the ones I like, though, end zone targets, 22% of the team's end zone targets. Air yard market share, 19%. So we love that. And then the play action targets, Johnny, when he's getting beat, when he's beating that linebacker because of they suck up on the run, and we know they have a good run game in Detroit, 24% of the play action targets there for TJ Hawkinson. So a lot of advanced metrics say he's still out there doing it. We see a couple of juicy matchups after this week. I know Cincinnati looks like a bad matchup, but after that, they have a couple nice matchups for Detroit against the Rams and some other things there. But even Cincinnati, this matchup is not as good as it looks. They're giving up 4.3 points per game to the tight end. But if you take a closer look, Johnny, their opponents have been Tyler Conklin, Cole Kmet, the Pittsburgh tight ends, Dan Arnold, Bob Tunyon, like some struggling tight ends in fantasy. So not somebody I'm really scared of in Cincinnati. I actually think that Hawkinson's in line for a big game. I know he's got the knee issue. I think he's going to get right before this game, but I think you could plug him into your lineup and continue to trust him. And you should be targeting that owner that has him and say, man, he's not looking good. I'll take him off your hands for you.
You started to make whether or not I should play Hawkinson this week. So thank you for that. I like the breakdown that you had there. I do think Hawkinson has better days ahead. All the metrics, once again, it's very similar to Kyle Pitts, right? We talked about Kyle Pitts last week. The metrics were all pointing in a direction for him to succeed. He just hadn't yet. And so I do think you are dead on the TJ Hawkinson buy low right now.
I appreciate that. Well, now it's time for the fun part. Sell high. Get rid of these guys that are popping right now for maybe some pieces that can help you down the road. And I'm going to keep the tight end trend alive here, Johnny. I'm going to sell high on Dalton Schultz. And I know this is hurting
Schultz Meister, huh?
He's been a great waiver ad for Whisper Nation. I know that. He's been a great waiver ad for me in a couple leagues. But his advanced usage is a warning sign, especially when we know Gallup's returning in the coming weeks. So check this out. Schultz has nearly 30% of his targets. 30% targets on the routes he runs. Okay. But he's only running routes on 63% of the team snaps. Remember, I said 80% is that elite markage. We want that. But then if you look at Kelsey, he's only got 19% that he's targeted on the routes run. So Schultz is nearly at 30%. That's a warning sign to me that he's outproducing right now what he should be based on the routes he's running on the field. If we look at PFF, Dwayne McFarland makes this point right here, okay? Since 2011, 3 players have topped 40% in routes and 30% in targets per route run. But Schultz doesn't remind me of any of those players. George Kittle, he was 3rd in 2019. Mark Andrews, he was 5th in 2019. And Tyler Higbee, he was 8th in 2019. None of those players were sharing with an Amari Cooper or a CeeDee Lamb either. So that is something else to take in mind here, that maybe things are just shifting his way right now because of the need in the offense. And again, this is not a team that wants to throw a ton right now. We're seeing that affect CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. And I think it's eventually going to catch up to a guy in Dalton Schultz, Johnny.
I do agree. I do think that Dalton Schultz has been kind of exceeding those expectations so far this season. So if you can get out from under him, maybe pair him with another player to try to maybe like TJ Hawkinson, something like that, I do think is a good move for your fantasy roster.
Bro, your sell high is
I know
it might be hurting your heart, dude.
It does hurt my heart a little bit to say this and to break this down. But I got to do it. I got to do what's right for Whisper Nation. That's what we're here for. That's what people subscribe to, not for what my heart is telling me. And what I am being led down and what the data is telling me, Travis, is that my boy D-Hop, he's a sell high. He's a sell high right now. I know it sounds wild, but he is. It's unfortunate news. And right now you could still trade him and get tremendous value because people know the name. They know what he's associated with. However, things have changed, Travis, very similar to, how things have changed on the show since we started. But unfortunately for Hopkins, it's gone in the reverse way, right? As we, get better, the room around DeAndre Hopkins has significantly gotten better, and that he's gotten AJ Green now, he's got Christian Kirk, he's got Rondale Moore, and believe it or not, he's got Chase Edmonds now as well to compete with targets. Whereas we look in the past history of DeAndre Hopkins, and he's been by far the alpha for whatever team he plays on. And I'm not saying he's not the alpha right now, because he would be the alpha in this offense. However, you look at the target market share over the last 3 weeks, Travis. I understand he's dealing with the rib injury, which is why you're able to get rid of him right now and not have that be an excuse for whoever you're trading him to. His snap or his market share has increased over the last 3 weeks as far as targets go, and you're seeing a nice increase in that area that you like to see. However, he's still only getting on the season 21% of the market share. He is competing with targets with AJ Green, like I said, Christian Kirk and Rondale Moore. Christian Kirk and Rondale Moore, both of which are having a tremendous year as far as yards per route ran. And I look to see them get even more involved with Max Williams now out of the fold there for the Cardinals. And I almost said we picked it because we picked up the Eagles tight end and your former boy for the Green Bay Packers. And so I do think that Kirk and Rondale will be a little bit more involved. But yeah, all those guys are getting over 14% market share, Travis. And when you're looking at DeAndre Hopkins, last 5 years, he's been in the top 5 in target market share for his team. And that's just not how it's going to go down this year. So if you can get out from DeAndre Hopkins right now, because that target market share isn't going to be there, and you can get another really good wide receiver and maybe a throw-in running back or a better running back, I think you do that right now because the name is going to give you more value than what it's worth right now with DeAndre Hopkins.
Mr. Miyagi says, "Oh, thank God it's D-Hop." I thought he was going to say my boy Deontay Johnson.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't go that far. I can't go that far.
Damn, that would have been betrayal at the highest
level. That would have been betrayal, yeah.
No, I agree with you mostly on this. I think Hopkins is just a product of the system right now. And I don't mean it that way. I don't mean that he's a product of the system. I mean that his detriment in fantasy, he's not going to be the top 5 guy we drafted him as.
Right.
Plain and simple. unless we see injuries, unless they get ravaged by injuries and we see AJ Green go down, we see a Rondell Moore go down. We did see Max Williams go down, but I think that most of that target share is actually going to go to a Rondell Moore or even to Chase Edmonds because of the similar routes on the field. So that's where I would go with that. And I just think he's not the same Houston Texans or even in the first year with the Cardinals when he came over as the only guy that the offense can run through. There's so many other things that Kyler has improved as a passer, which means he's spreading the ball around. Unfortunately for fantasy, we've got to take note of this. And if you can sell D-Hop on that name value, then you should go do that because I think it's you could get back something really, really juicy here. All right. Before we get into the questions, we've got one more part of the show where we go into the cornerback and wide receiver matchups for the week. And we have one temper expectation matchup. We've got one plus matchup we like each. And so I'll start us off here, Johnny, with a plus matchup I'm really digging. And that's like Stephon Diggs and Emmanuel Sanders. A little 2-for-1 here. I cheated a little bit. But I'm taking both of these guys for the Buffalo Bills in a great spot right here. Both right and left corners for Tennessee are letting up over 1.17 yards per route run. And they are projected to run 78%. They, being the Emmanuel Sanders and Stephon Diggs, are projected to run 78% of their routes on the outside because obviously Cole Beasley is there, who's going to soak up the routes against the slot corner for Tennessee, who is probably the only corner on there that's worth keeping his job at this point. No team throws more in neutral game script than Buffalo, so we love that. We talked about how the game environments are so conducive to their ability to just chuck the ball around. Tennessee, Johnny, has allowed the most passing yards and the most points to fantasy wide receivers, and they've also given up the third most wide receiver touchdowns. Giddy the F up, dude. We're going to eat today.
Dude,
well, not today, Monday. The wide receivers here. And again, like you said, with Dawson Knox, what was the issue? The issue was the outside gets burned, but the inside stays tight for the Titans. I actually like this situation for both Sanders and Diggs, and they're my plus matchup this week.
I would even try to acquire. I think he could even made this list for guys that you're trying to acquire on the cheap right now. Stephon Diggs coming in significantly lower than what people projected him coming into the season. That target market share, very similar to Hopkins, where they get a lot more get more guys involved. You're seeing the same thing over there with Buffalo, but I do think Diggs will get right in this game. I do want him in my lineup in this week.
How about your plus matchup, Johnny? Who do you got this week?
Yeah, my plus matchup, very similar to kind of yours. It's a guy that you're going to put in your lineup. But last week he disappointed on what looked like a very good matchup. So I just want to give some more confirmation bias on why you definitely are rolling in the flames or keep throwing him out there. That is wide receiver DJ Moore. I understand last week it looked like a semi-juicy matchup, and what ended up happening, Sam Darnold and
semi-juicy.
Yeah, they went into Philadelphia and Philadelphia took their lunch. And took away the ball 3 times away from Sam Darnold, which is a huge reason as to why DJ Moore only finished with just 42 yards and only 8.4 yards per grab. However, you need to, once again, look a little deeper. You can't just look on the surface because sometimes the surface isn't pretty. But when you dive a little deeper with DJ Moore, his lonely yards per catch number from last week looked a little bit like an anomaly and not something that we could definitely kind of bank on going forward, right? Moore is running 85.1% of his routes from the perimeter, Travis. We like that. He ranks 5th amongst wide receivers with 179 yards after the catch.
You like that?
You like that? That's not a surprise with DJ Moore, right? We talked about him coming into the season as one of those mega yak monsters, which is why, me being a coaching mind myself, no, not really, but, I thought he was going to go to the slot because it made sense. But no, they're keeping him outside and they're getting him targets. So I like this for DJ Moore, who has the 6th easiest matchup coming into the week against Minnesota's secondary that has absolutely been feasted on, not quite as much as Big Travis Tennessee feast over there with the Diggs and Buffalo, but they have been giving up a lot. Patrick Peterson's just a shell of himself, and they're just giving up a lot of yards over there. So DJ Moore needs to go back in your lineup. You need to have a lot of confidence. Trust.
Big trust here. Now we're going to move into some guys we don't have as much trust on, and we're going to say temper expectations because of their matchup against the cornerback in this certain situation of mine. As I teased a little bit at the top of the show, Kadarius Toney right now has some tough sledding to do here this weekend. Obviously, we wanted you to pick him up. He's a high waiver ad. There's going to be some injured weapons. He should see volume, but a lot of his volume is going up against Jalen Ramsey. In fact, 54% of his routes is that's the projection PFF has that Kadarius Toney will match up against Jalen Ramsey. One, he's a rookie, okay, newly inserted into the offense in a bigger role, and he's potentially going to be playing with a backup QB if Daniel Jones does not get out of concussion protocol. Toney needs to be rostered in all formats, but this is not the week to chase last week's awesome performance for me, Johnny. There's two words. It's Jalen Ramsey. I don't know what else I need to tell you that I would not be starting Kadarius Toney when he's going to run the majority of his routes against that guy. And yes, Jalen Ramsey is that dude. And so for me, I'm tempering expectations, especially with the concussed Daniel Jones and all those other things. Let's see what happens after this week. Now, if Toney goes out there and balls on Jalen Ramsey, I'm okay if that's on my bench because now I know. Now I know Toney is like he's
the real deal Holyfield.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
What about for you? Are you with me on that, or do you think you'd still be willing to put Toney out there? I know you called your shot last week with Toney.
I do want to keep monitoring. They're saying he could miss this week, so I do want to follow that a little bit more closely. But as of right now, I do think he's like a wide receiver 3, upswing if you need him, if he does end up playing. I do like the call, though, on the tempering expectations. And I actually, probably would try to target him after this week if he ends up, not having the greatest game or playing, because then you can kind of, people are like, oh, it was a one-hit wonder kind of thing. But I don't think it was. I think it's going to remain. So I do like that one, Travis. But I gotta jump back in here, because I just gave you a sell high of the Arizona card. I get, most people, I can't believe I'm actually doing this on one show. I can't believe it.
Too much, dude. Too much.
Too much. I just gave you a buy or a sell high on the Arizona Cardinals. Now I'm going to tell you who you need to bench on the Arizona Cardinals, and that is going to be wide receiver AJ Green this week. Do not play him. They were going against Cleveland, and although the matchup might seem, and like the point total might seem like you want to get him in your lineup, I would temper expectations this week with AJ Green. He's just not getting the massive volume to float him over matchups like this. Not a great matchup, according to Pro Football Focus, with the corner there for Cleveland, and without having that high, target share. I have my concerns with starting AJ Green. I think it's much more of a dart throw. It is nice that he's seeing a red zone target almost in nearly every single game. But again, you're rolling the dice on one play, hopefully, that he comes down with a touchdown to try to make your day. I'm staying away from AJ Green this week. I do think this is going to be more of a Hopkins, more Kirk kind of day from the wide receiver standpoint, and a lot of Chase Edmonds involved.
Just want to say right here, Mr. Miyagi says he appreciates everyone in the chat. We do as well.
Yeah, we do too.
And we have made it through the show. That means it's time to start rattling off some of these questions. So appreciate you guys rocking with us. As soon as we're done with the questions, we're going to shift into giving away that Keenan Allen jersey and some sports cards for our Patreon subscribers.
Yeah.
Brett Johnson says he needs an RB2, hoping to trade into something. Doesn't seem like anyone has extras. Got to keep working those trade lines. Got to keep going for it.
Got to be got to be willing to offer some stuff.
Trading Mahomes and Ridley and Miles Sanders for CMC too much. I have Hurts as a backup. So I don't think it's too much. I think Sanders is in a tough spot. Ridley obviously is going to have some down weeks, but his volume is really, like, Ridley is still a buy low for me in this one. But I think that if you're able to get CMC right as he's about to come back, I think this could be a good deal for you, depending on what your other pieces are at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I have Mike Williams, DJ Moore, and Devonta Smith for wideouts if Ridley is gone. Yeah, I mean, that's great wideouts to have. This is a good team to consolidate, Oscar. Like, this is what you want to do. So I actually do like this trade for you and your roster.
Yeah.
Mr. Miyagi says, sweet Jesus, a trade for Hawk Image. Yeah, I'm sorry. Need an RB2, and I have Derrick Henry, but if I had a chance to pair CMC with it, again, I think you have a good squad here. Gus Ramos says, my cousin has Taylor and I have Hines. Do you think I should trade Hines for Tony? Is that fair? Yeah, if you could get Kadarius Toney for Naheem Hines, I think that's a good one because we did say Naheem Hines was kind of on the drop list with Tony on the ad list. I think this would be a good move for you. Plus, you give him to the Taylor owner, so it's not like you're just selling snake oil here. Rob Navarro says, "Do you think it's possible?"
That was good. Just selling snake oil. That's a pretty good one.
Do you guys think it's possible for a good trade on my side if I were to offer Kamara and maybe Ridley for Derrick Henry? I think this is a decent deal for you. I think Derrick Henry is amazing right now, and he's going to get fed the ball a million times. But we got to pump the brakes on the hate for Kamara right now. He's continuing to see high usage, and last week they finally got him involved in the passing game again. I think we could see some things open up too with Michael Thomas coming back for this offense.
Yep. I don't think you have to give up both Ridley and Kamara to get that deal done.
Yeah, maybe you hang on to Ridley if you can. Mr. Miyagi says Allen Robinson hasn't participated all season. A missed practice is par for the course. Mr. Miyagi on tilt here. Rob Navarro says drop Alex Collins for Hardman PPR. Continue to monitor Reek's status. If Reek gives it a go, then I wouldn't want to drop Alex Collins just yet because, again, Collins is going to be first in line here if Chris Carson, and also monitor Chris Carson. They said he's doing a little bit better. So, yeah, I would, though, do this. I'm talking myself into it right here. I would drop Hardman for Alex Collins, but please wait till tomorrow when you see some more of the practice reports. You see what's going on. Alex R. says Godwin, Fournette, Brown, E. Sanders. Who should be my wide receiver 2 and who should be my flex? Which Brown is that? Is that AJ Brown or is it Marquise Brown?
Yeah,
that's a good question there. I think I'm going to go with, let's assume it's Marquise. I'm going to go with Marquise Brown, and I think I'd go Emmanuel Sanders. I think this is a huge spot for them. I like Fournette as well, though, and obviously Godwin. I mean, you have any input here?
I think Godwin's gonna. I like the Thursday thirst, dude. So I think Godwin's gonna have a big game tonight. But again, if I can understand if you don't want to play Godwin tonight because you like the matchup of Emmanuel Sanders a little bit more.
We can play them both here. I don't know which Brown this is though.
I'm assuming it's probably Marquise, but I'd probably go personally. I'd probably go Marquise and Godwin. But I mean, all 4 of these have really great matchups.
Oh, big shout out to Oscar the Grouch with the $4.99 super chat. Woo!
Let's go. Appreciate it.
He says drafting Mike Williams was the best choice I ever made, and you guys called it. I listened, drafted him at the beginning of the year, and oh man.
Yeah.
Boom, baby. That's what we're talking about. Mike Williams was the biggest value at wide receiver going so late. We talked about Joe Lombardi, the new system. We talked about him being the ex-receiver in that system. And look at Oscar the Grouch. He just had a monster week last week because of Mike Williams. Yeah. We appreciate it right now. All right. We're working through that. Appreciate you so much, Oscar. That was huge, man. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Hold on. Nope, still working here. All right. Hey, bros, I picked up Gaskin. I'm going to start him in my Superflex full point PPR 6 per. Should I start Patrick over Waddle because I have Gaskin? I mean, I think you might want to start Tim Patrick over Waddle in general. I think Tim Patrick is doing things that are consistently good. I think Waddle up and down in targets, but we see yardage and touchdowns from Patrick consistently every week.
Yeah.
Jair says Hunter Henry or Ertz for my tight end. Goddard is out. I would roll with Ertz here. With Goddard on the COVID IR, I think Ertz is in line. We've seen them target the tight ends individually, and now with Goddard out, I like Ertz as the play.
Yep.
Same league. Jersey J says, would you start Schultz over Waller? You asked this yesterday, bro. I'm still rolling with Waller, bro. I think those advanced metrics, I talked about Schultz kind of overproducing right now, and I think Waller's underproducing, and I think you don't want to be there when the floor hits for Schultz and the ceiling hits for Waller, and you're going to be sitting there sad in the corner, losing your religion. Jair says also my quarterback is Hurts, talking about Hunter Henry. Oh, I love the stack then. Yeah. The Ertz to Hurts stack.
Yeah.
All right. Jersey J says also last thing, my league has done no trading. I'm trying to trade Madison to the Cook owner. If I give away Madison and Waddle for Ridley, is that a win? Yes, that is an absolute win. Unless Cook has, significant injury, but they have their bye coming up. He should rest up. Cook should be back in good form. I love this deal for you.
Yeah.
Drop my like, says Jersey J.
Appreciate
Jay
you.
and Mr. Miyagi going back in there. Says, what's up, Rotato Chip? Love it. The bro game. Me too, Merry Bro Round. Dude, love it. Okay. We move through some other chat stuff here. You could still sell high on Deontay Johnson, Oscar says. I think Deontay Johnson with Juju out, like that's huge ups for him and Claypool going forward.
Yeah.
Let's
I mean, if you wanted to get away, because maybe you don't believe in Ben Roethlisberger rest of the season, maybe, but I'm fine with Deontay, especially
Mr.
in
Miyagi says half point PPR. You start Hunt, Damian Williams, or Gaskin, Johnny.
I'm gonna stay in the Flames with Hunt.
Yeah, Hunt. I don't know how you could bench Hunt right now.
Yeah,
Is Tannehill a hold? I like his upcoming schedule. It's a little interesting here. I don't know if he's a hold. You might not. I don't know. I mean, it depends on your league. If your league is very quarterback thirsty, you might be okay just leaving him on the waiver and kind of cycling through some other stuff. He's got a tough matchup against Buffalo this week. So maybe what you do is you wait a little bit and then you go pick him up because he's going to have a down week most likely. And then these weapons get healthier. Then you go and target Tannehill after you've had some other projects on your bench there.
Yeah.
I need to drop one for a stream QB, Alex Collins or Seals Jones. I'd have to start Hawk. Start Hawk and drop Seals Jones. I mean, RSJ is a great matchup. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a good start. But keep on to Collins, see what happens with Carson, and then be able to stream your quarterback and start Hawkinson. Again, I said I think, and monitor it because he could not play with the knee, but I think he's going to be fine. Jamal Williams, Patrick, Khalil Herbert, full point PPR, 6 per. Start one of my flex. Again, I think it's Tim Patrick. Now monitor Damian Williams because he's been popping up on the injury report. And if he doesn't go, you'd like Khalil Herbert here in your flex, especially because they used Khalil Herbert in the 2-minute drill. Like they used him.
Yeah, that was what was
which
really
they didn't throw anything to him.
Right.
But they used him in that. It was weird. Maybe it was pass blocking. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Should I fire sale for A-Rob? I have no idea what to do with him. Hey, hi, Mr. Miyagi. Welcome. My name's Travis. I also have no idea what to to with Allen Robinson. I think you can't trade him right now because you wouldn't get any value. You can't drop him because he's still getting the market share. You just have to hang tight and keep him kind of burning a roster spot, unfortunately, right now.
I would wait till he blows up.
If somebody can give you wide receiver 2 value for him, then do it. If you have somebody else, maybe they're going to, I mean, like, would you take Julio or Allen Robinson at this point?
Ooh.
See, like, I might buy Julio. I might buy the dip on Julio, right? Like, if you could go get Julio for Allen Robinson, maybe that's a good deal. And then you just you're trying to roll the dice that Julio's going to have a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So Tony or A-Rob, Big Travie, putting you on the spot. Oh, man. I would go with Allen Robinson. Again, Tony banged up, the backup quarterback. And then again, Jalen Ramsey. Allen Robinson will be playing against a banged up secondary in Green Bay, and he's consistently put up some points on us. T. Higgins is in for a big game. Chase is going to get double teamed, and T. Higgins in. This sounds like Jersey J has T. Higgins on his team and is hopeful thinking here, but Jamar Chase is absolutely insane right now. There's no way he's not going to have a good game in my mind. Detroit just getting gashed right now. If A-Rob gets traded to a better team at the deadline, that would be huge. That would be huge.
Yeah, that would be
something like that.
Yep.
Let's see. Ricky Seals Jones and DFS if Hop and Green are trending down. Yeah, I do love Ricky Seals Jones this week. I think he's in line. But, again, Washington playing against that Kansas City defense that is letting up a ton of catches to the tight end position.
Yeah.
Dylan says Gesicki, Ertz, or Cook at tight end this week, Johnny.
Ooh, this is a tough one because I love Ertz. I love Ertz tonight. Gesicki, though, has the best matchup for any tight end, and he's been used a lot more, but it is a little bit more risk. I would go with Ertz.
All right. Do I start Schultz this week? Says accusing. It would depend on who you have. Again, we like Schultz. As long as Gallup is out, I think he's definitely a good start. Chenault, Tony, or Devontae Booker in the flex?
Oh, I would probably go Booker. Yeah, I'd go Booker. The volume should solid.
Yeah, the volume should. It was really the receiving work. He scored in the receiving. He got 5 targets. That's where I think it could float him against this strong Rams defense. Slim Reaper in here says, Whisper Nation strong. We appreciate you, brother. Flexing on him. Slim, what's up?
Let's go.
Slim Reaper says Bateman or Gallup.
Bateman.
Yeah, I think rest of season as a stash, I think he's asking here. And you like Bateman?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since we're not seeing the volume we wanted out of Dallas right now.
Right.
Dropped Allen Robinson for Tony over it. I mean, I don't mind it. I don't mind playing for the upside. I kind of wish you would have hung on to him, but I understand it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Slim Reaper says, Big Trav, secrets of space or the ocean?
Oh,
Johnny
yeah,
already
dude.
answered.
I got this question he asked me on Sunday on the Sunday Morning Live, and I was like, this is one of our better. I love this question.
So this might get a little weird for some people, but I'm going to
You
go
won't.
with
You won't.
space. And I believe it's because, you know, if I believe that there's a divine force out there, it has to be within space because it's in the heavens and outside of the world. If I believe there's something kind of scary, I think it's of the earth, and that's inside the ocean. And there is stuff we know more about space, we say, than we do the ocean.
That's what I had put.
I kind of want to leave it in the dark and leave it alone, dude. I'd
Right.
say space, bro. Okay.
That's what I said.
Accusing says, I'm starting DK Chase and Mike Williams, and I need 2 more out of these 2 flex. Marquise Brown, AJ Brown, Tyler Lockett, McLaurin, D. Henderson, or Jacobs. Well, we're starting D. Henderson.
Okay.
And then it's between McLaurin and Marquise Brown. And so, Johnny, I'll ask you here, do you think McLaurin's matchup against Kansas City or Marquise Brown? And who are the Ravens playing again?
They are playing. Sorry, I should have that.
Really, it's like if you believe Marquise Brown's going to get home like he has been, or if you believe McLaurin's volume is going to carry him in a great matchup.
Sorry, I'm checking this out. Chargers. They play the Chargers.
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
that's a tough.
So yeah,
tough
I would go McLaurin. I love the McLaurin matchup. Kansas City.
My super chat doesn't damn work. Jersey J, you got to get that fixed, brother. We appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, we.
Could I drop Seals for Gesicki, Johnny? Gus Ramos asks.
Yeah, I would this week. Well,
Are
yeah, I would.
Johnny, Jersey J, are you guys as concerned as I am about Kyler Murray's shoulder?
I'm a little concerned. I want to. I mean, it didn't seem to, it
was a slow game.
And yeah, it was a slow. Well, and it didn't seem to affect him too much in that game. I haven't heard a whole lot about it on the radio here either, or any of like the beat reporters. So I'm not too concerned. But again, we heard this and saw this last year, where Kyler was off to this tear, kind of hurt his shoulder. They kind of downplayed it and ended up being a bigger issue after the season when they talked about it. So continue to monitor this. As of right now, no,
I do. Same shoulder, Johnny?
It was yes.
So it's the same shoulder as last year. That's that would be a little concerning. We'll see how that kind of works. As they might run more, so let's see what happens there.
Yeah.
Dan Arnold, tight end 1 rest of season. He has great astrology chemistry with Lawrence, who has targeted the position 5+ times a week. Dude, Slim Reaper reading the yeah, that's amazing.
Oh my gosh, that would be such a funny article thing to your zodiac signs.
Yeah, dude, for your fantasy football players.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Yeah, we got to do that. We got to start doing
so
that.
Good.
Maybe
so
we'll
good.
get Philly Chelsea on that. She's big into the astrology. That would be great.
Yeah. That
Mr.
would be fun.
Miyagi says Travi calling for an A-Rob breakout week. I think it could be here against my Packers. I would not be surprised. Oscar says a guy would go for the cheap on is Jerry Jeudy. When he comes back, he will get big volume. That was what I was going to say next week. This might be actually the perfect take, Oscar, because he's going to be coming back in the next couple weeks. You might want to go get him now from that owner who's been rostered. I did. I sold Alex Collins right before that Thursday night game last week for Jerry Jeudy as a way to try and sell the hype on Collins to get Jeudy before he comes back.
My problem is I just had too much Jerry Jeudy in too many leagues that and I've been holding on, so I can't go out and get him.
Yeah. Is Amon-Ra the new cup for Mr. Goff? 8 targets in the last 2 games, and Cephas has the rest of season. Better offense for the Rams than it has ever been for the Lions. And I will also say Cephas has boomed, but so is Khalif Raymond. And also, don't forget, Tyrell Williams will be coming back soon enough, too, into this offense. And so there's some things at play here. I just don't know if I want any of these wide receivers, to be honest with you.
I do think that Amon-Ra is a little interesting as a late, bench stash, because those targets last 2 weeks have been consistent. So we'll see if that remains. But you did bring up good points about, other players coming back, and it is the Detroit Lions. So it's
Jersey
How
J
much
says
do you trust
Travie is a lover and he knows his ball. I hope he's not saying Higgins is going to goose egg. That would hurt. I'm not saying he's going to
No.
goose egg. I think Higgins is they're both in line. I love Joe Burrow this week as one of my best QB plays starting in our league of record. I think the throat goat gets involved with T. Higgins and Chase this week. I think they're great.
I love that's his name, dude. The
Dude, I
throat
love
goat,
it.
dude.
Rob Navarro, Schultz, or Noah Fant PPR?
Oh, okay. So this is a Noah Fant play this week. Actually, could be decent this week, but I am a little concerned with Noah Fant long term. A lot of it's come because of Jerry Jeudy being out. Give me Noah Fant, although the floor is way worse than Schultz's floor, but I do think the upside is higher for Fant this
Keep
week in the
Flash
matchup.
Gordon or drop Bateman. I have Mahomes, but Ravens won't have thrown more. I'm going to get Bateman before I get before I keep that.
Yeah, I'm not expecting.
Oh shit!
I'm not expecting much.
Oh, Fant or Knox PPR, Johnny.
Ooh, this one's.
I don't know how you could go away from Knox right now if in that
Tennessee
situation.
is really good
I know,
against the
but
tight end, and
like Buffalo's really good at throwing. I would trust that. Mr.
Right.
Miyagi says Myers and Hunter for A-Rob. Jacoby Myers.
Actually, I would not do this.
Hunter Henry?
I would rather have Jacoby. Jacoby almost made this list. Jacoby is going to have a breakout game. It's probably going to come this weekend, to be honest with you. It's probably going to be this weekend that Jacoby's metrics, similar to some of these tight ends that we talked about. The metrics are all there for him to have a big game. It just hasn't happened yet. He's due. So I would not do that.
Cole Pierce, 3-2. This is the last question we're going to be able to do, guys, before we have to give away this Keenan Allen jersey. So we appreciate all of you rocking with us. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. Cole Pierce says 3-2 in a 10-team PPR league with Kyler, Kamara, Swift, Hendo, Cordarrelle, Pounder with Cheese. I love that nickname. AJ Brown, DJ Moore, Marvin Jones, Julio, Ruggs, Kelsey. Any moves I should make? Should I panic with AJ? No. Like Johnny said earlier in the show, we're buying low on AJ. This team is pretty stacked, bro. I think if anything, you're looking at Marvin Jones as Ruggs and Ruggs as droppable pieces for other, bye weeks and things like that. But other than that, I can't see very many very many holes in this. Okay, one last one, Slim Reaper. What's up with San Fran's running backs? Kyle pimps them out every week. I hope Jeff Wilson can be his main lady. No pun. So Jeff Wilson's an interesting ad, but again, when Elijah Mitchell's healthy, he takes over the Raheem Mostert role in this offense. We've seen that. Something I'd be looking for is the starting quarterback. When Trey Lance is in, this team runs more through Trey Lance than they do the running backs. When Jimmy's in, they run Kyle's kind of base offense, which is to run through the running backs and then, pass when necessary. So I really like the backs being Elijah Mitchell. Jeff Wilson is a late ad. And Mitchell being the guy I would want going forward in the season. And I really like it a lot more if Jimmy G is the starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Johnny, should we do this? Let's do this.
Dude.
Giveaway, brother.
Why not? Want to flash up? All right, so we're doing. We'll remind people here that we are doing our jersey giveaway and our card giveaway for those that are subscribed on our Patreon. Appreciate you. Oh, let me just wait. Hold on, I gotta go full screen with you. Show that bad boy off again.
Allen, dude.
Look at that, Keenan Allen signed jersey right now. We are giving this away to those monthly Patreon subscribers. If you support us on patreon.com/the Fantasy Whispers, you get entered into this drawing. It's only $10 a month. Right now, you have a great chance to win an autographed jersey for $10 because we only have a handful of people in here right now on the $10 level. So if you're watching this, you want an autographed jersey, we're doing a Damian Harris autographed jersey next month. And then you also get entered into a card drawing that we'll do right after this for a card pack. So make sure you join over there on patreon.com/the Fantasy Whispers. All right, Big Travis, here we go.
That link in the chat right now for my guy Jersey J, who says he needs to join ASAP because Slim Reaper
and Slippery.
He's joining right now. Here is the link. Get on over there, boys, and get in there. And then next week or next month, which is in a couple weeks, we'll be giving away another jersey, and we're giving away sports card packs as well. Every month. So make sure you guys get over there.
All right, let's spin that wheel, shall we, Travis? Find out who wins this jersey?
Let's do it. Spin that wheel.
Here it comes, and the winner is for the jersey. It is Oh,
did he
Brett
get it?
Johnson.
Brett Johnson.
Brett Johnson wins our
They're going-
Keenan Allen jersey.
He's going to love that because check it out. Brett Johnson last year was in our league of record. And what we do in our league of record is if you win the championship, you buy a jersey on somebody on your team. And one of the front runners for that was Keenan Allen, who had a monster year for him. But he ended up going with Stephon Diggs' jersey. Now, because he supports the brand, my man's going to get a Keenan Allen jersey as well, dude. I love it. I love it. I love what we can do for all of Whisper Nation and all of you that support over on patreon.com. So make sure you're signed up. Not only do you get entered into these, but we're giving you bonus content each and every week over there, and you get entered into our exclusive VIP Discord. So make sure you guys get over there and get on over to patreon.com and sign up today. Well,
All right,
that does it for us,
We
right?
have one more. We have the card giveaway.
That doesn't just
That's
like
it.
that. I was trying to shut it down, and
Yeah.
Johnny goes, "No, we're giving away more to Whisper Nation."
But wait, there's more. There's more. All right. So $5 Patreon tier and above, you get entered in the monthly card drawing. So I'm going to spin the wheel, and then Travis, or if the person is in this chat right now, they could give me a number between 1 and 9, and we'll pick out that envelope number. But I'm going to spin that wheel, Travis. We'll find out who wins these cards. We'll open up the card pack here. And the winner of this month's card pack drawing is Carl, our boy. All right. So Carl won.
Carl Smith, Smitty Satow, he's in here. He
He's
says
in here. All right.
congratulations.
Smitty, Carl, let us know what pack between 1 and 9. Give me a number between 1 and 9 in the comments, and I will pick out that envelope here, and we'll figure out which.
Oscar, that's in Jersey. He's buying off of Jersey J. Okay, I thought he was asking if you could buy a jersey. You can't buy a jersey, but you can get it for cheap by just subscribing to Patreon. Get in there.
All right, Smitty,
give us a number 1 through 9.
1 through 9.
Let's go with
7.
lucky number 7.
Right.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. And the cards he wins are he's got some good ones here. Ooh. All right, first card is a Jared Stidham rookie card. Jared Stidham, former is he still on the still on New England? Maybe.
I think
Ooh.
so.
You get
he was the rookie last year.
Oh, I love this card. This is an Andy Isabella jersey card. 7 out of 10 ranking. Rookie card there. Andy Isabella should be better next year. Hold on to that card because Andy Isabella will be back with the Cardinals. Ooh, here. All right, these are the best 2 cards of the pack right here. Gets a Marquise Brown. Rookie.
Now we're talking.
All-American.
Hollywood Brown, baby.
Hollywood Brown there. And last but not least, a Josh Jacobs rookie Prism.
Oh, Prism, dude. Yes, let's go, Smitty.
Prism rookie. Yeah, that was a good pack. Appreciate you, Smitty, for and Brett Johnson and all those that are.
Thanks, boys. I'm in here.
Yeah.
He says in the house, my boy. That's awesome.
So appreciate you all for supporting the brand, supporting and letting us continue to follow our dreams and passions. We appreciate you so much. And if you want to help with that as well, just head on over to the fantasywhispers.com or not .com, Fantasy Whispers Patreon.
That link is in the chat. So scroll on up.
Yeah.
It's patreon.com/the Fantasy Whispers, as Johnny was saying there. And I hope that Slim Reaper and our boy Jersey J get over there because I know they're part of the fam.
Yeah.
We'd love to help you continue to dominate. We do our Face Off Friday shows over there. We answer some questions on that. And it's a beautiful thing. So appreciate all of you guys, man, for rocking with us. For Johnny Game Time Hicks, I'm Big Travie. We're the Fantasy Whispers. We're out. Peace.
Good luck tonight on Thirsty Thursday.
Right here.
Look at you go. You made it to the end of another one of our videos. Hey, if you still have some questions, I totally understand. Or you just want to join an awesome fantasy football community, head on over to our Discord chat. Link is in the description below. And if you're still not sold on us, check out one of these videos.
Lamar Jackson accusings, if you're still here. Lamar Jackson. Did you hit end broadcast? No.
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Oh, we're still live though.
We're still
It
alive.
said it didn't want us to end. I think. I don't know. I hit the end
It
button.
says live to me.